Hi, this is Jeff from Wilco, and these are 10 songs I've listened to recently and thought to myself, I try to sound like that. Number one, Chris Spetting, his parts on Needles in the Camel's Eye off of the Brian Eno album, Here Come the Warm Jets. I try to sound like that sometimes. Number two, Deboon, self-referenced off of the EP Buzz or Howl Under the Influence of Heat. I heard it recently and I don't really think I ever sound like Deboon. I don't think anybody ever sounds like Deboon. But the willingness to use the microphonic feedback on a track as a solo, I think is inspiring to this day. I hear it in stuff I try to do all the time. In fact, yesterday I was trying to do a solo with microphonic feedback. Number three, Phil Manzanara, his solo at the end of Gun off the album Fear by John Cale. I don't know, I think you just should listen to it and think, oh yeah, I think Jeff's trying to do that quite often. Here's a really obvious one, Velvet Underground, Lou Reed, Sister Ray. You know, one of the first things probably I heard that had that completely liberated from established technique kind of playing that I still find very inspiring. You know, the only technique that really matters is your own, and I think everybody should give themselves permission to play however however they want to play, and that song is a real testament to what kind of beautiful things can happen when you liberate yourself to play however the fuck you want to play. Elizabeth Cotten, I'm Going Away. I certainly don't know how to fingerpick in the way that everybody has tried to learn how Elizabeth Cotten taught herself to fingerpick. You know, it's a kind of a well-established style now, and lots of people do it. But nobody really sounds like her, and I don't sound like her, but whenever I hear her, I feel encouraged to just keep doing what I'm doing because it sounds good to me. Andy Gill from Gang of Four off the album Solid Gold, He'd Send in the Army. There's a movie called Erg, A Music War, with a bunch of concert performances from different artists at the time. A lot of them were on IRS records, but most of all, it's just kind of a survey of all the different types of off the beaten path bands that were playing at the time. And there's a clip of Gang of Four playing He'd Send in the Army live. And again, it's just watching a guy hit a guitar in a way that is satisfying to him, and most people that are technically proficient on the guitar would criticize, but just incredible, inspiring playing to me. Similar style and time period, Keith Lavine, Public Image Limited, the song Pop Tones, which is actually some of the more like kind of accessible playing by Keith Lavine. It's really repetitive, but it's a pretty solid part compared to a lot of things that seem maybe more spontaneous on other records by PIL and Keith Lavine's playing. Here's one of the things I think is really great about the electric guitar. You don't have to be like incredibly proficient at the electric guitar to find your own voice and sound like yourself. And in the case of almost everybody I'm talking about here, the parts they're playing are technically kind of easy, but if you play them, you're not going to sound like them. And so it all translates to me, again, as inspiration to sound like yourself. Kate LeBon, a song off her album Mug Museum, Are You With Me Now? This is a little bit more precise and sculpted and composed than a lot of the people I've been referring to, but it has the similar quality of it just sounding like her, the note choices and the type of hook lines that she writes on the guitar, especially on this particular album. I listened to this song recently and thought, oh, I've been trying to do that. One of my all-time favorite guitar players, somebody I don't think I sound anything like, except that I can hear that I am trying to sound like him a little bit, and it's Richard Thompson, and it's off the album Fairport Convention, Full House, the song Sloth. I got to work with Richard Thompson years later, many years later. I got to help make a record and produce a record for Richard. And still to this day, I think he's the most effortlessly conversant musician I've ever been around with his instrument. It just seems like, Julian Lage is like kind of like that, or you just like look at these guys and go, they don't have to, they just think what they want to hear and they do it. There's no real normal kind of thinking going on. It's just like the way we speak. Number 10 is Mark Bolan, Fist Heart Mighty Dawn Dart off the album A Beard of Stars. That one actually kind of has an acoustic element and an electric element. And when I listen to this song now, I hear like the combination of the two is something I think I've been trying to do especially on my solo records a lot. Like this, not overly saturated, not overly like aggressive. It's almost like electric folk music, it's really appealing to me. And yeah, I try to sound like that. And hopefully I'm here talking to you because I don't sound like that. I sound like me most of the time. But I think if you ask anybody that plays guitar and loves guitar music, they'll have a million of these things. And if they're being honest, they'll tell you that that's probably somewhere in their mind when they're, I don't think I'm ever consciously trying to sound like any of these. I'll just say that. It's just one of those things. There's a note of recognition now after all these years of playing. When I go back and listen to some records, I go, oh, that's where I got that. That's what I'm trying to do. There's a million other ones I could have referenced. Definitely like Television, Tom Verlaine, Hubert Sumlin, Howlin' Wolf, Howlin' Wolf's guitar player, millions. Poison Ivy, The Cramps, you name it. 10 songs I've listened to recently and thought to myself, I try to sound like that. Take care.